All right, welcome to the NFGM Live Show. This is another beautiful Friday evening right here in Kenya. Thank you very much for joining us today. It's a pleasure having you here. Remember, this is the NFGM Live brought to you by Antonia Sophia, producer, as well as Tony Mwebia, also a producer for this show. And today we are doing the NFGM Live weekly review. Lots of things have happened this week, as you might have known, and lots of activities as well, lots of responses, comments, discussions, rantings as well as most importantly, we also had lots of solutions in regards to ending FGM in this country. All right, so joining us, I can see different people joining in from different platforms. Please leave your comments because that's very, very important so that we are able to just have an impact and discuss things that are relevant not just to you, but to the people who are working on the ground as well. So please leave a comment on the chat box, and once we do that, we will be able to roll in style, as usually say. All right, so thank you very much again for joining us. We really do appreciate having you here. We'll just go straight to a short break, but when we come back, we will be talking about what happened during this week. Karibu sana. Feel at home, I'd say, and let's have this conversation. Asante sana.
Tune in to the NFGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at NFGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, we are back. Once again, this is the NFGM Live weekly review. We are going to talk about what happened during this week. Lots of things happened, as I had earlier said. But before we go on to what exactly happened this week, we will be just introducing to you friends from different places. Thank you very much for joining us. We really do appreciate. I see George Masoon. Thank you very much for joining us. We really do appreciate having you here today. Please leave a comment and in the chat boxes wherever you're watching from, and we will be super glad to read them out loud here. If you have any cases you want to report, please on the chat line or on Facebook, there are pinned posts as well. So please feel free to drop a message in that link or just WhatsApp the number that have been shared. So thank you very much for joining us, Marilyn Sorensen. Sholing is all I can say. I really do appreciate having you here today, as well as George. More people joining in. Today is Friday. That's review edition, and we will be super glad to inform and just make sure that there are lots of things you'll go with home today in regards to ending FGM in this country. All right, so straight to what we'll be talking about today, and we'll start off with statistics. Globally, FGM is at 200 million. And 200 million is not just a number as people usually say outside here. So that's where we are at. This is week 3 updates for this show. And we will just be talking about what we, who we were able to host this week. We hosted guests from, of course, one country, and different panelists as well. We were in Laikipia County. We were also in Laikipia County actually twice on Monday and Tuesday, also in Nyamira County, and we had a special edition yesterday where we hosted the country representative for UNFPA Kenya, as well as Haida Somo from child protection specialist from UNICEF Kenya. And so we had lots of things to talk about in the long run, but today we'll just take a look at who was first of all in the show. We had Karen Kiogora, who is the Laikipia County officer trying to join in, but we were not able to actually have her on air. So sorry for that. Same with Samuel Onsarigo. But we had a lengthy conversation with Josephine Ndirias, who is the director for Mokogodo Girls based in Laikipia. As well, on Tuesday, we were with Helen Gadogo, who is the founder and director of One More Day for Children, as well as Sonyanga Olengais, with the captain, Maasai Cricket Warrior, as well as founder Maasai Cricket Ladies. And then on Wednesday, we were with Lansa Wow from Hope Foundation for African Women, and Rachel Okongo, who is the director for Gender Nyamira County, as well as Grace Morungi from Manga Heart Organization. Then yesterday, which is Thursday, we had Dr. Ademola Olajide, who is the country representative for UNFPA here in Kenya, as well as Haidha Somo Ahmed, who is a child protection specialist for UNICEF here in Kenya. So we're just going to start off with Laikipia County. Lots of things discussed. Among them is just a denial that FGM is not done among other sections of the community, as well as a rise in teenage pregnancies, hardly accessibility, as well as lack of support. They were saying that the government should up its game in regards to support. So that's just a small bit about Laikipia County, which is basically found in the central part of Kenya. Kenya is vast, of course, and Laikipia County is one of those counties that has many communities living in it. So we were able to talk to these individuals in regards to FGM, and lots of impact being made on the ground as we have these conversations. I'll just go straight to the chat and see who is joining us, because I can see comments streaming in. All right, I see some people joining us. Thank you very much, first of all, for joining us. We really do appreciate having you here today. It's really an honor seeing you in this chat. So I just also stream in from Facebook so that we can all see who is joining us. I see Marilyn, I see Stella, Maggie Pele Wamunyina, and Janice Samwa. I'm just going to read your comments quickly. Marilyn Sonsen says, Super Oleng Ochore, always nice to see you and tune into this important mission. Thank you very much for joining in. Stella Kikomi says, very good work indeed. Together we shall end this vice. Maggie Pele Wamunyina joining in from Zambia. Thank you very much for tuning in. James Samwa, I am watching. All right, where are you watching from? Please let me know, and I'll be super glad to read them out here. And in different platforms, of course, we are available on Facebook, on Twitter, as well as on YouTube. So please, whatever you are comfortable streaming or having those comments from, please shoot them, and we are surely happy to have you streaming with us here on this chat. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi, and we are live. This is the NFGM Live. Super glad to have you here today. All right, so we'll just go straight to what we talked about this week. Back to where we were talking about. We had spoken about Laikipia County. As we had earlier said, it is found in the central part of this country, Kenya, and it's a metropolitan county, which means that different communities are actually found in this county. All right, so just as a reminder, short reminder that you can always reach us through different platforms, as you can see on the screen. You can always follow us on Facebook, on Instagram and Twitter as NFGM Live. Also search for NFGM Live on YouTube, and you'll be able to follow us indeed. All right, so we'll just head on to what we'll be talking about today in regards to the counties that we were able to cover this week. Happy to have this conversation with amazing people. Keep the chats and the comments coming, and we will be able to read them as time goes by. All right, so going back to which counties we were able to talk about this week, now headed to Nyamira County with an 84 prevalence of FGM, that highest in Kenya, and also has a community whose prevalence of medicalization is the highest in Kenya. The issues were medicalization of FGM, clashing of tribes as well, and communities around that place, no safe houses for girls, and little government support. One thing that keeps on rising or being clear while working or doing these shows is just little commitment from county governments. So that's an issue that we really will delve into and dwell on in the coming weeks. Dr. Olajide, who we're going to talk about in a few, mentioned a few things yesterday. He talked about the fact that Kajiado County passed a policy, and he said that many counties need to follow suit as well. So this is very important to think about. On the special edition, as you can see on your screen, we'll just be talking about what we spoke. But before then, just take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have an in-depth conversation around what we spoke about yesterday. Your comments, and remember, you can always stream them and also share. If you have any questions after this show, please shoot them, and we will try our best to share them with the relevant stakeholders. All right, this is the NFGM live show. Please feel free to leave your comment wherever you are. We'll be able to read them as we go on with the show. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi, and together with Tony Mwebia and Antonia Sophia, we usually bring you this show. And today is a Friday edition, which means that it's reviewing the last 4 days of this week. We were in Laikipia, Nyamira, and we had a special edition on Thursday as well, where we hosted representatives from UNFPA as well as UNICEF. All right, keep the comments and questions coming. We'll be reading them as they come, and we'll be very sure to have this conversation in a much more impactful way. Stay tuned.
Tune in to the NFGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at NFGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, we are back once again. This is the NFGM Live, and just heading straight to what I had promised we'll be talking about now. Talking about the special edition where we hosted Dr. Olajide Demola as well as Haida Samo, and we basically had a conversation revolving around what UNFPA and UNICEF are doing at this time to ensure that girls are safe. Many issues came up, and we're just going to be talking about them right now. Remember to leave your comment, suggestions, as well as shoot any incidents that are happening in regards to child protection, and we will try our best from this side to help as possible. All right, so we know that from yesterday we talked about organizations working from home and measures that have been taken in that regard, and there are different things that UNICEF said as well as UNFPA, and one key thing among them is the mention of different organizations that are working from grassroots levels that you are able to reach out to. So I would suggest that it's important that you just reach out to them. Just listen to yesterday's video, which is still online, and you'll be able to access that information. As well as we ask a question on the government making or closing safe spaces and rescue center. And one thing that I still have questions on, but we talked about as well, is the fact that children are now in places where probably they were running away from, most of them, and that means that they are much more at risk at this time, with little monitoring as well as hard to reach areas at this time. Rain, some areas are also experiencing landslides and other natural phenomena. We still have a lot to do. One thing that the UNFPA representative in Kenya talked about yesterday that I think is very important is the fact that children, and he said this, children have to feel safe at home or be safe at home. So the government as well as organizations who are working here are supposed and this is they're also working towards that to make sure that campaigns and also toll numbers are availed to to be able to make sure that any perpetrators are brought to book and that the community knows that children have the right to be safe from harmful cultural and traditional practices. So that's a very important one. As well, we talked about in Kisii and Nyamira, where there were high medical cases of FGM, that's medicalization of FGM. And one thing that came up in that regard is having conversations around medicalization with the practitioners, but most importantly, the fact that none of the practitioners who does or practices FGM, no matter how medically safe they would deem it to be, is going to run away or not face this or not face the law. So that's one very important thing that came up yesterday in that conversation. And so there is need to engage the medical fraternity to just let them know that it is a crime and against the law, and that perpetrators are deemed to be prosecuted as well. So UNFPA and UNICEF, as we had talked about yesterday, have a joint program to end FGM. And there were different guests who gave different opinions in regards to data. Some of them were actually giving their own data, and that's not been approved like on a global or a national scale. So talking about data, of course, they all agreed that it's a challenge in regards to data, and that there is need to have more specific data over time. So working with the KDHS, among other organizations that are supporting collection of data, is something that needs to be done as well. This is the end of GM Live. I see lots of people joining us today. Thank you very much. We really do appreciate having you here today. Keep the questions and comments coming, and we will surely read them as they come. As you can see, they are streaming on this screen on my side. And so I'm super happy to see you here today, and also on the live chat. For some reason, it's disappeared. The comments have disappeared. Oh, they are back now. So keep the conversation going, and we will surely be happy to keep on having this conversation. I'll just read a couple of them, and I can see some engagement. Remember that Tony Mwebia and Antonia Sophia will basically be engaging you on online. I'll just go straight to where you're having these conversations, and we will be reading them live. So I see okay, Maggie Pele says amazing. Thank you very much for that. Marilyn Sonsen asks this question: on the side of Nyamira, do you mean that 84% of the women in that county have undergone FGM? Just to answer you in that regard, Marilyn, is that the Kisii community was generalized, just as the Maasai and other communities were generalized in regards to statistics. So having this statistic is community. It's according to the community. So if you look at the population, the indigenous community that lives in Nyamira and Kisii, it's basically the Kisii community, and that's where the statistics KDHS placed that. So until we get other statistics, that's what we are going with at this time. So I hope that answered your question as well. Keep them coming, and we will do our best to stream them live. That's where you are having your comments. So if you see yours there and I have not answered it, please shoot it again, and I'll try my best to read it and also answer it. Tony Mwebia and Antonia Sophia are live on that chat. As you can see, they'll always be able to help you wherever you are, and we'll be able to have a much more productive conversation. Thanks again for joining us. This has been the NFGM live show. Short break, coming back, and we will be winding up. Remember that you can always tune to this show from Monday to Thursday, and on Friday we have the review. So keep tuned from Monday to Thursday, having guests from different parts of this country, and we'll be having a conversation revolving around FGM and factors that affect girls in their homes, in their communities, in schools as well. What are the rights that they have? What are the organizations that are working against these harmful cultural practices and traditional practices doing, as well as putting those who are responsible to task and just ensuring that we are able to follow up and protect our children wherever they are. Taking a short break. When we come back, we'll be winding up. And if there are any questions popping up, we'll be answering, shooting them to someone else if I'll not be able to answer them successfully, not successful, like wholesomely, and then we'll be able to have a better conversation. Thank you very much for tuning in. This has been Jeremiah Kipainoi from the NFGM Live, together with Mwebia and Antonia Sophia, our producers.
Tune in to the NFGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at NFGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.
All right, you're back. Thank you very much for staying in tune or staying in touch with me, of course. We are now watching the NFGM Live. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi. Just shooting straight to what Maggie is asking. Of course, I can see lots of conversations with Maggie as well as our producers online. We'll just bring that to the screen. All right, so Maggie is coming from Zambia, and she says, I'm in Zambia, but would want to know the side of the government on the FGM vice. So we have an act here in Kenya, Maggie, and it's called the Prohibition of the Practice of FGM. It's an act of parliament that was passed in the year 2011, and the government basically it's illegal. It was passed as a law, so it is illegal to have to practice FGM in this country. Despite being at 21% prevalence, we still have lots of challenges in regards to working with even some government representatives, just going down to the chiefs as well as what we call Nyumba Kumi representatives, which is just a local community-based surveillance system which helps people know who is doing what in an area, probably covering 10 houses. So Nyumba Kumi is basically 10 houses. So people from 10 households know what is happening in their area. We still have challenges working with those at this time, but we are still forging forward, because as more organizations put in resources and efforts and energy into this, we still have people stepping in to make sure that they engage these communities as well as leaders in that area. So I think that's the position of the government on the ground. In regards to the law, there is a law, prosecutions have been done, and people have actually been jailed. So that has been working in that regard. I hope I answered your question. It is illegal, and the government is actually responsible for making sure that it is not practiced. One more thing that I would say is that if you go online, you look for the Maputo Protocol, and you'll be able to find what it says in regards to FGM. Kenya has ratified that protocol, so it's important for you to just check it out, the Maputo Protocol, and that's very important as well for everyone else to know that Kenya ratified this protocol and that it is responsible for the protection of these girls as agreed in other countries, with other countries as well. If there are no more questions, I'll just read some comments as they come in. I see Marilyn Sorensen says, thank you for clarifying for me. Very helpful. Thank you very much. I'm very, very happy that you found that helpful as well. Says, all right, I think this is good. Valentine Koyo, I see you. Good job, brother. Thank you very much. The team, Antonia Sophia, as well as Tony Mwebia, please receive that as well, because lots of work in the background, as you can all tell. Thank you, Mr. Presenter. I will get the Maputo Protocol. Perfect. Thank you very much. All the way from Zambia. Please keep the comments coming in, streaming in. I'll make sure that I'll read them before I wind up. Let's do this for the next 4 minutes, and we will definitely keep up going with this conversation. All right, this is the NFGM Live. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi, and today is the live, the NFGM Live weekly review. And we were in 4 counties, actually 2 counties this week. We were in Laikipia and Nyamira. Laikipia on Monday and Tuesday. So much interest from that county. And on Wednesday, we were in Nyamira County. And then on Thursday, we had the special edition where we hosted the country representative for UNFPA, Dr. Olajide Demola, as well as Haida Ahmed from UNICEF. He's a child protection specialist. And lots of information came up yesterday, and discussions were also very lively as well. So if you want to listen to that, please go straight to our channels, and you'll be able to see yesterday's conversations, where you can basically review and see how far you can follow up with that. All right, we would like to bring this to a close. I think we are done for today. Thank you very much for tuning in this week. We really do appreciate having you. It's a blessing. For sure, and we are happy to have you definitely here at the End FGM Live. My name is Jeremiah Kipainoi. I do appreciate being your presenter. Thank you very much for always tuning into this show. Till Monday, we will be back to the counties, so be sure to tune in, because lots of things are happening during this COVID-19 pandemic. So we need to know what is happening, where, when, and what we can do about it. All right, till Monday, take care. And when we come back, we will have much more from the counties. Kwaheri, take care, and keep those who are close to you safe.
Tune in to the End FGM live show from Monday to Friday at 5:30 p.m. East African Time. Find and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at End FGM Live. Reach out to us for inquiries, to report a case, or to support the show on WhatsApp +254 73 400 7674.